Hey man, we got big news. Shakur Stevenson and Conor Benn agree to get it popping at 154 pounds. But Conor Benn say only under one condition. You bet not pull out and get cold feet like Gervonta Davis did. We gonna talk about this whole situation, but before we do, make sure you hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and let's cook. So Shakur Stevenson went on the Breakfast Club and they start asking him about potential fights at 140 pounds, 147 pounds was mentioned also, right? And Shakur says that he's a natural 135 pounder, and he comfortable at 135. He wasn't looking to move up to 140 no time soon, right? But he said he would move up to 140 if the right fight was presented, right? For the big names like the Ryan Garcias, the Teofimo Lopez's, you know, those type of names. He said he'll move up to 140 and fight those guys, right? Then they asked him what weight did he think that he would cap out at, and he says that, you know, he don't see himself ever going no higher than 147 later on in his career, that is. And then somehow Conor Benn was brought up, right? And he said, well, I'll go to 154 and fight Conor Benn, because I think Charlemagne had asked him, like, you know, would you move up to 154? Do you see yourself going that high? And he like, hell no, that's way too big. But I'll fight Conor Benn at 154. Now, when Shakur said that, I'm like, huh? Why would you say you would fight Conor Benn at 154? Because I believe you shouldn't have said that. And I'm going to tell y'all why I believe that Shakur shouldn't have said that. Because the fact is that Conor Benn is not even a 154-pound fighter. Yes, Conor Benn just fought Chris Eubank at 160, right? Because that was a mega fight and they had to agree on the weight. So they fought at 160. But Conor Benn has even said that he's not a 154-pound fighter, even though his last few fights was at 154, because he was on his comeback road after being off for being popped for PEDs, right? So he fought at 154. I don't know why he fought at 154 pounds. Maybe he couldn't get no fights at 147, but he fought at 154. But ever since then, he been letting the world know that he's coming back down to 147 pounds because that's his natural weight class. So Shakur, knowing that, because I know Shakur know that, because he cool with Conor Benn and he keep up with everything that go on in boxing. He should have said that he will fight Conor Benn at 147, because saying that you will fight Conor Benn at 154, that's crazy. Why would you take an unnecessary risk and have to move up 19 pounds in weight when you could have just said me and Conor Benn can fight at 147? Then y'all could have made the fight at 147. Now, I gotta keep the same energy. I rock with Shakur, but I gotta keep the same energy that I would keep with Gervonta Davis, Abdullah Mason, Shakur Stevenson, or whoever it may be. I keep the same energy for all fighters, because before any of these fighters was born or even thought of, I was in boxing gyms and I was watching boxing. You feel me? So I'm a boxing fan before I'm a fan of any of these fighters. So I got to keep it real. Now Shakur said that. Now he got to stick to that, because we remember when Gervonta Davis said he would fight Conor Benn at 147, and then when they called his bluff and they sent him the contract, he started backpedaling, talking about, oh, you know, I was just playing. I'm just playing. Nah, it ain't no I'm just playing. Shakur said it, so he gonna have to stick to that, right? So if Conor Benn get Eddie Hearn, they got the same promoter, get Eddie Hearn to send him that contract and say, we got to get it on at 154, even though I'm going to move back down to 147. I want to fight you at 154 pounds because you said you would fight me at 154. Shakur, he got to go get that smoke. He got to take that action at 154 pounds because that's what you said. Now, if you get cold feet and do the same thing that Tank did, Well, fans gonna start calling you a duck, right? And I ain't gonna be able to defend the shit because you said 154. If Shakur Stevenson and Conor Benn, they talk to each other behind the scenes with Eddie Hearn or however it may go, and they come to agreement to where the fight will take place at 147 instead of 154, and Conor Benn agrees to that, well, that's cool. But you can't back out if Conor Benn say, nah, we got to do it at 154. Because Shakur didn't have to say that, right? Now that you said that, you got to be a man of your word. And so now that Shakur said that, hey, I'm expecting him to do just that. Be a man of his word. This is a fight that can be made. Like I said, they got the same promoter. And let's get it popping. Hey, let's get it popping. This is a huge fight. I've said that Shakur and these fighters that call themselves great, you got to do something that the greats did to prove your greatness. And by going up to 154 or even 147, if that what it comes out to be, right? And fighting Conor Benn and beating Conor Benn, that's proving your greatness. Because 154 is a 19-pound weight jump. That's a 19-pound weight jump. That's greatness. If you can beat Conor Benn at 154 pounds or even 147, that's greatness. Now, of course, you got the haters that's gonna try to minimize Conor Benn and act like he ain't shit and just tear it down because of Shakur Stevenson, right? We already know what comes with the territory, right? When you got fans that just, gonna hate on you and find anything to hate on you about. But if Shakur can complete this task, that's greatness. And all these fighters, man, that's saying they great, that's cool. But you gotta prove it by doing something great, like the greats did. The Sugar Ray Leonards, he did shit like this. The Floyd Mayweathers did shit like this. The great fighters, Roberto Duran, the great fighters moved up in weight, jumped weight classes and fought the best to prove their greatness. Terrence Bud Crawford is about to try to prove his greatness by going out there and facing Canelo. So, this is the things that you got to do to prove your greatness, man. And, hey, Shakur been a man of his word so far, and I expect him to continue to be a man of his word. So, hey, this a dangerous one, but Shakur got the skill set to beat Conor Benn at 154, at 147 pounds. The thing is can you complete the mission? Because it's dangerous. It's dangerous, And what weight is you going to come in at? Conor Benn is going to be outweighing him by a whole lot on fight night. But Shakur always say that skills pay the bills. And we know that Shakur, he got one of the best skill sets in all the boxing. And he got the best defense in all the boxing. So let's see what this pans out to be. Let's see if they can get this fight made. I'm looking forward to it. But in the meantime, Shakur needs to focus on William Zepeda because, hey, that's a tough fight. But I look to see Shakur school William Zepeda, right? He go put in that work. But he needs to focus on the task at hand, and then we could talk about Conor Benn. Let me know how y'all feel about this. Drop a comment in the comment section. Make sure you hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and y'all already know how I do. Tego talking that boxing again, and I'm gone.